Hey guys, this is your girl Kizzy Rock, and happy Tuesday to you guys. So, guys, today I wanted to talk to you about being confident in your individuality. I just got finished from speaking to a group of women who are currently struggling in this area. Some of them have been married for an extremely long time and they're newly divorced, or they're preparing to leave and just don't have the ability to leave. Some have never been married and just do not have the confidence of being alone. And so it's so many different avenues that this can go in. But the first thing I want to say is, first and foremost, I always say that each and every one of us was designed for a purpose for God. And I think what happens is so many times people get so caught up in wanting to be married or wanting to be in a relationship. And I'm not saying anything is wrong with that at all. But it's important to first realize that the ultimate reason why you're here is because God had a purpose designed for you that is separate from your spouse. Now, granted, when he brings your spouse to you, then there's a good chance that the purposes may mesh and you guys, just come together as one. And then there's a bigger, higher purpose. But I think to just sit around and wait on a spouse or a partner without doing the work to understand what your original purpose and calling is that you should be doing while you're waiting, while you're single, then you are truly, truly wasting time. In fact, you are holding God up from bringing the person that he truly has designed for you, because you haven't done the work yourself and being okay with your individuality. And that goes more than just understanding and knowing and living out your purpose in your single season. That is truly being okay. Do you guys know any individuals who literally hop from relationship to relationship or from marriage to marriage? Well, my hand is raised. I mean, I can count at least 15 just thinking off the top of my head. And this includes men and women who literally jump from relationship to relationship because they're not okay with being alone. And that can come from the fact that they've maybe always been with someone, or you can have someone who are struggling in the area. Maybe they dealt with abandonment issues in their childhood from their father or their mother not being there. So it's like they become super clingy. So they're trying to mask the pain of abandonment by always having someone present in their lives. And what's so important to realize is that when you know God and when you have a relationship with God, he fills that void. A person will not fill that void. It may be temporarily, but what's going to happen is, first of all, if you are not okay with being living in your own individuality, then you're going to find yourself stressing that person out, because one, you're going to be overly clingy. Two, you're going to want to be involved in every single thing that they do because you haven't found your own purpose and build your own brand and start working on your own legacy prior to them. You're going to find yourself wanting to dip into everything that they're doing and try to take over what it is they're doing. And that can become a problem versus you taking your two separate brands and merging it as one and then letting God do what he do. But it is so important to be working on yourself as an individual so you can become whole before God sends that person to you. And again, as I always say, sometimes society gets so much in people's head, especially women, that, okay, you're 30 now, you're 35 now, you're 40, you're 45 now, and you've never been married, or you've had 10 marriages. Like, listen, society is why so many people are screwed up. Just look at Hollywood. Like, you have to be so confident in understanding who you are, who God designed you to be. You have to be so confident, because if not, you will be following everybody and then you will end up unhappy. As I always say, everyone wants to live like the Jones, but most times the Jones aren't even happy. You have to create your own definition of success. And that starts with knowing your purpose and calling from God, ultimately having that relationship with God, but knowing your purpose and your calling, being okay in your individuality. building your brand, working on yourself while you're waiting. Like, don't just sit there and wait on the spouse. Work on your credit. Get your body right. Exercise. Get your mind right. Start taking some physical therapy, not physical therapy. I can't even think about it right now, but whatever it is, to address trauma. If you dealt with areas, in your past, or if you were in abusive relationships, like, all of these things have to be chopped before God sends that person that he has designed for you. Because if not, you're going to take all that stuff into the new relationship or the new marriage. Like, stay single. If you're doing what you should be doing in your single season, you're going to be so busy that you won't even realize that, okay, I'm watching the clock. My last relationship was 8 months ago. God, where are you at? You're going to be so busy because there's so much that you have to do to prepare, to create your brand, to make sure you leave a legacy for your children and for the next generation, getting your credit together, getting your finances together, getting your confidence together. Because once you meet the person, not who you choose, but who God has designed for you, it's going to be like magic because God created you for him and vice versa. So if you don't work on yourself and you happen to run into this person, you're not going to even feel it. Or even if you feel it, he won't even feel it because you have not created yourself to the point that God needs you to be. You need to be at the top of your game, walking with your head up. If you've been hurt, we all have been hurt. Like, you got to get that confidence back. And that confidence starts, you got to go back to the drawing board. You got to start working on those areas that, that you were broken. Start giving that confidence up and start really getting yourself up. And before you know it, the person who you're waiting on is going to walk right into your life. And guess what? You don't have to do much because you've done all your work prior to them coming into your life. So I just wanted to encourage you guys. I know for some people, now for myself, I don't have a problem with being within my individual, just in my individuality. It's such a hard word to say. I don't have a problem with that. And sometimes that's not always good either because sometimes it can be complicated to be in a relationship or a marriage because you're so used to being by yourself. But what I have realized is that when you master whatever it is God had for you to do, the person that he sends, it will not even seem like a burden. It will be a blessing because it was sent from God versus you choosing on your own. So, but I do know for many people that I know, it's very hard for them to be single for a while. They're so focused on this. Oh, I got to get married, or I got to listen. Just trust God's timing, honey, because our timing, I got us in some things, honey. So just trust God's timing. But I just wanted to encourage someone. I got to go back and finish working on some projects. I got some big things happening in the next few weeks. So I'm going to keep trying to make a video at least every other day because I just want to be able to encourage someone because I had people to encourage me, when I was going through my issues. So I want to just try to encourage someone. Most importantly, encourage the people who want help now. So I take my energy now and I focus on the people who truly want help versus in the past, I would try to change people who didn't even know that they needed help or they know they needed help and just refuse to even make themselves vulnerable or teachable. So now I feel so good and I don't feel drained because I'm helping people who wants to be helped. So you guys have a great one. Comment and let me know what are your goals for 2020 and things that you're doing to work on your brand as you establish your legacy. It's your girl, Kizzy Rock.